Let's talk about your age, but I'm not talking about the number of candles on your birthday cake. What if your real age, the age of your cells, could actually go down? Well, today we're diving into the science that says it's not just possible, it's happening. And we're basing it all on a really fascinating guide from Live Hospital. So let's just get right to it. The big question: can you actually get younger? It sounds like science fiction, right? But the latest research is pointing to a pretty surprising yes. We're talking about measurably turning back the clock inside your own body. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to unpack what biological age even means. Then we'll look at how you can actually measure it. After that, we get into the fun stuff, the lifestyle changes, the supplements, the hormones that can really make a difference. And we'll finish up with a little peek into what the future of aging looks like. It's going to be good. Okay, so to really understand how this is even possible, we've got to start with the science. Because this isn't just about looking younger. It's about what is fundamentally happening deep, deep inside your cells. This right here, this is the core idea you need to get. On one side, you've got your chronological age. That's how many trips you've made around the sun. It's unchangeable, right? But on the other side, you have your biological age. And that's all about how well your body is actually doing its job. This is the number you can influence. Your choices, what you eat, how you move, can literally make your body younger than your driver's license says it is. And listen, this isn't just some theory. This is being studied at the highest levels. You've got places like Northwestern's Human Longevity Lab that are identifying the exact markers of aging. And then there's Harvard, where they've created something called an epigenetic aging clock. Seriously, think of it like a speedometer for your cells. It's a total game changer. Okay, so if you can change your biological age, how in the world do you figure out what it is right now? Well, it all comes down to knowing your numbers. Let's take a look at the key things scientists are measuring. Now, this might look a little technical, but it's pretty simple when you break it down. A CRP test, for example, measures inflammation. Think of that as a low-grade fire constantly burning inside your body. Definitely ages you. Then there's oxidative stress. You can basically think of that as cellular rust. And then my favorite, telomere length. Telomeres are these little protective caps on your DNA, kind of like the plastic tips on your shoelaces. The longer they are, the younger your cells are behaving. Knowing your numbers is the first step. The next, and honestly the most important part, is taking action. So let's get into the foundational lifestyle pillars that all the research points to for turning back that clock. Naturally, it starts with food. The big goal here is an anti-inflammatory diet. That means you're loading up on colorful fruits and veggies, getting those healthy omega-3s from things like fish and nuts, and using spices like turmeric. But just as important is what you avoid. We're talking about processed junk and sugar that just fuel that internal fire. The guide also gives a big shout out to intermittent fasting as a way to give yourselves a much-needed break. Next up, exercise. But not just any old workout. The source lays out this awesome 3-part plan. You've got resistance training to keep your muscles and bones strong. Then you've got HIIT to really kick your metabolism into high gear. And finally, mobility and flexibility work. Think yoga or stretching to make sure you can keep moving well and stay injury-free. It's the whole packet. I really want you to hear this next one: sleep. It is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. It's when you're in deep sleep that your body does all its most important work: repairing damaged cells, cleaning house, regenerating tissue. If you skimp on sleep, you are literally hitting the fast-forward button on aging. And then there's the big one: stress. When you're constantly stressed out, your body is flooded with a hormone called cortisol, and that stuff is just toxic over the long term. The solution is to build what we're calling a stress management toolkit. Things like meditation, deep breathing, or, just getting out for a walk or a run. It all works wonders. All right, so once you get those big lifestyle pieces in place, you can start to think about some more targeted interventions. And that brings us into the world of supplements and hormones. Let's look at 2 really interesting ideas here. First, NAD+ boosters. NAD+ is like the fuel for your cellular power plants, but our levels drop off a cliff as we age. Boosting it helps with energy and DNA repair. Then you've got something called senolytics. These are super cool. They're designed to go in and clear out old, malfunctioning zombie cells that just hang around causing trouble and inflammation. The guide also really emphasizes hormones, especially when it comes to male aging. We're talking about testosterone, growth hormone, and thyroid hormones. They're all absolutely vital for energy, muscle, and metabolism. And since they all tend to decline as we get older, getting them optimized, with a doctor's help of course, is a really powerful strategy. So we've covered a ton of stuff you can do right now. But what about tomorrow? I mean, the science of age reversal is moving so incredibly fast. Let's take a quick peek at what's on the cutting edge. The therapies that are coming down the pike are, well, they're mind-blowing. We're talking about peptide therapies that can tell your body to repair itself, stem cell treatments that could regenerate organs, exosome therapy that improves how your cells talk to each other, even reprogramming your own immune cells to fight off disease like they did when you were 20. The future is looking pretty amazing.
Okay, so how do you take all this information and actually use it? This is your 3-step game plan. Step 1, get your biomarkers measured. You gotta know your starting line. Step 2, build those sustainable habits around diet, exercise, and stress. And step 3, track your progress, retest, and adjust your plan based on what the numbers are telling you. It's all about making it personal.
And really, this quote from the guide just says it all, doesn't it? The key to longevity is not just about living longer, but living healthier. It's not about tacking on frail years at the end. The goal is to add life to your years. Which brings us to our final thought for today. The science is getting clearer, the strategies are becoming more accessible. So the real question isn't just if we can do this, but what we'll do with the results. So I'll leave you with this. If you could add 10 healthy, vibrant years to your life, what would you do with them?